Welcome back, guys, to the Grand Asia Open 2025, day one for One Piece card game. Now, we're going to Bello Betty versus Green Purple Luffy for round number three. JC versus Charles. And who will get that win for round number three? Take it away.
So, in your opinion, who has the advantage here? I know Belobetti kind of has to high roll to defeat Blurple Luffy. Sorry, Grape Luffy. He has to hit those triggers, has to go for multiple Ivankovs into Karasu just to go ahead against Luffy.
I like how you call it Grape Luffy.
Grape.
All right, and GP Luffy does have a huge advantage when it comes to hand cards here. He does have that two searchers. Now it depends on who goes first. Because in my
Oh.
opinion, how multiple times I practice against Bello Betty when I'm using Green Purple Luffy, I
Has
have
to
the
go
upper
second,
hand.
right?
Yep, I have to the upper hand if I go second.
Yeah, yes.
All right.
And it looks like GP Luffy will be the first. I think the reason why the second is advantageous for Belobetti is because a lot of his Revo army are four costs. So
That's right.
that means he can start building his board at the second turn instead of building it at the third turn if he goes first.
That's right. And also, going second, you'll be able to have access for the new event, the green event, right?
Yeah,
You'll,
yeah.
you know, the green purple Luffy will be able to rest two of the small characters that can be buffed to a 5k. And no, that's
The
what
dead
I
man's
always do.
game.
Yep, that's right. Dead man's
Man's
game.
Then you KO them before they can start attacking. Oh,
That's right.
they have to replace. They have to change some playmats there, featuring other games. Not listening to the announcement earlier.
It's
that
alright.
if you're playing with other card games art, they have to replace it. But
All right.
I don't think it will be detrimental
There
to
you
the
go.
match, and we're just gonna take out those playmats and continue as usual. And a turn one, Belobetti. Ooh, I see an Ivankov.
That's
on
right.
The question is, does he have Karasu on his hand?
Well, it's pretty crucial here for Charles. You know, starting off with a searcher for JC is, you know, a pretty good start. So JC was able to take advantage of getting that Kuma for this turn. So most probably he'll just
Now-
try to control those small characters from
Yeah.
Charles.
Now
Because
I'm-
let's not forget that Charles has the access for chopper blocker, right?
Yes. Now I'm interested on seeing what's on JC's hand because it's very unusual that you go for a search, hit one of your key cards, and go for another card. He passed a chance to get an Ivankov for cost. And that's why I'm kind of curious as to why he went for Kuma instead of Ivankov because you can play Ivankov next turn,
Yep.
build your board, and then next turn you will have extra characters that can go for multiple attacks on your third turn. So
All right.
pretty interesting to see these strategies from our players now. 5k attack, I think. Yeah.
That's right. No leader effects yet for Charles Pitogo. And are we going to see a guard here for JC?
I think he will take it, trying to go for a trigger. If he triggers, and there you go, Lindbergh is now on the board, and now Kuma doesn't have. It's kind of less needed now because
Yep.
Lindbergh
There's no
can
more
also
value
do
that much.
what Kuma can do when he attacks.
That's right. So now JC has a huge upper hand against Charles.
That's
especially
actually my most hated card.
That's
from
right.
the Lindbergh.
That's
as
right.
a Ozan player, our Maynards, our smaller characters, kind of unusable against Belobetti if Lindbergh is on the board.
That's right. So now, like what I mentioned earlier, JC has the upper hand here against Charles because Charles has two.
Cracker.
Oh, that's an old build. So
This is the old build.
Charles has two. Sanji putting his on hand. There's a lot of bricks on Charles's hand if it doesn't have any active active dons.
Now the question is, will Jay-Z have Karasu? If he has Karasu next turn, that Cracker will have double attack. and then Lindbergh and Belobetti will get buff. So definitely he has to go for a cracker attack first, just to use his double attack ability, and then go for the 5k and the 8k should he decides to attack with those characters. Because we have to mention that Charles doesn't have, well, Nami Searcher, only Nami Searcher on his board. He doesn't have Tricos, maybe Robin or Frankie on his board. He
That's right.
passed the second dawn turn or the second turn, and now is a 6k with
Isn't-
Sanji and Pudding.
That's right.
He
so
do have Frankie on his hand, right?
That's right. So, in my opinion, he doesn't need to play Frankie this turn if he's going to use the ability. But if he wanted to add more value on his board, he's going to play Frankie without using that ability or on-play ability.
Just
Becau-
for revenge kill.
That's right, because next turn he will be able to play another Sanji Pudding for him to be able to draw another card.
Yeah.
Because in this matchup, Luffy Taro is not really advised, in my
Yeah.
opinion, because you're going to get
Super
tapped
late.
out. And
Yeah.
it's pretty late for him to be able to survive. Especially checking out the board, JC has 3 active characters here. He does have Cracker, which deals
Double attack.
double attack, right?
Oh, he do have the 5 cost Ivankov on his hand, but I'm not sure if the third card is a Karasu. It's kind of black, or it's kind of dark, and I'm kind of thinking in my head if Karasu is the only dark card in the Belobetti arsenal.
That's right. So let's see what will be the best play here for JC. He can play that Ivankov 5 cost.
Yeah,
All right.
and maybe hit a Karasu
That's right.
on the top of his deck.
And he'll be able to have 2 active additional Dons. So he'll be able
Oh.
to attach 1 on Cracker to
Oh,
deal
that's
double
a
damage.
koala. That's a koala.
All right, so he does have a koala. He might be able to remove one of the characters here from Charles, or one of the big characters, which is
7.
Frankie and also
-4.
Sanji
I think
Pudding.
the koala 2k -3. Lindbergh can remove 3k.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Sanji and Pudding is quite safe unless he plays 2 koalas, which is okay if you want to remove a key card from your opponent, and also that means you have multiple 3k bodies on the board for next turn. Oh, went for the
Alright.
buff.
Right, he buffed all the
Ooh.
characters here. He did not play any characters yet.
Now a double attack.
9k double attack, probably
No.
10k because there's a plus 1k as well if there's an attached card. And there you
And
go,
there you go,
double attack. Pretty painful for Charles
I
here.
think he can buff Cracker. I think Belobetti's leader ability only buffs Revo Army.
That's right. No. It buffs triggers. Cards with triggers.
Yeah. And there you go. Ooh. Should've
Alright.
went- Oh. Well,
And
he
he's gonna
can
play for the
that
blocker.
Karasu blocker.
Yep, that's
just
right.
for defense.
That's
Or
right.
He can also go for Belobetti just to get additional the Revo that he needs.
All right. So he's gonna check the flavor text of the card or the ability of the card. He's gonna double check if he'll be able to play all the cards that was actually showing on the top 3 of his deck. So now,
Yeah, so for other people who are quite confused as to why we check the flavor text, because here in the Philippines you are required to use Japanese cards. So
At
there's
first.
yeah, there's very few people that has a full English deck
That's
at
right.
the moment. So we usually tend to go to the official website to check the flavor text of our characters, just to be safe on what the effects are. Because he went to the sim.
all right, he's gonna check the
Shout out to
translation.
Meibatsu for
I,
that
I,
one.
I like what he did there. I like
It's
it.
easier, right? Just
That's
search.
right. All right,
Okay.
he was able to check. Because if you're gonna ask me, what's the ability of Ivankov 5 cost? He can play any characters from a Revelation or Revolution Army
Yeah. From the top 3 cards.
4 cost below.
Yeah.
So yep, even though the color is yellow for the Karasu blocker, he can still can play that. So now
5k, 5k, 8k, right?
that's right.
Oh.
So he's gonna go for 8k.
But
Probably
I
gonna
think-
pass for attacking the using the
Yeah,
Belobetti.
but I think there's like small mistake in the in the sequencing there. Could have attacked with the leader first and then go for Lindbergh, or maybe is there any triggers on GP Luffy that can prevent Lindbergh from attacking?
Yes,
Electric Luna.
yep. You can
Yeah.
rest the
Oh,
characters or any type
surprisingly,
of characters
he passed with the
because
he's
it's
6K.
6K.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah, yeah.
it's 6K. Right.
Yeah,
What
so
he did
there's
there
no
was actually
mistake
pretty
in
good.
the sequence. I'm the one who was wrong there. I
It's
forgot
okay.
that GP is a 6K.
Most of the players actually forget that,
Yeah,
right?
there's no indicator whatsoever. But
Yep.
now
So
Charles has
JC,
a lot of hand cards, but very behind in terms of board state.
that's right. And JC's thinking if he will guard it or will he block it or he just gave it away.
Because he already have an Ivankov. That is 6K there, so that will be a 9K attacker. Surprisingly,
He does have Kuma on his end. If Charles tries to prompt for a Robin or a Chopper blocker, so playing a blocker here this turn
how
is
big
not that.
is Robin's attack?
2K, so
It's okay. It's
still
three-
open.
yeah.
Still open for a
Okay,
Kuma
Kuma
on
can
play
reach.
Kuma ability.
And
Alright.
Zorojuro.
Zorojuro was expended.
Oh.
He's trying to search
Well, you do have a 2K counter there.
a 2K counter and also a Jet Gatling, which gives him a 3K counter if he discards one additional hand
Went
card.
for 2K counter. I think he's going for a blocker here. He still have 3 dons. How many dons does JC has? He do have 5 dons remaining. Yeah, oh no, he can't now.
All right.
2, 4, 6. JC has 6. He do have 6. Oh, he equals or less than. Oh no, Soroju, Sanji you should be behind 2 dons, right?
That's right. So
Before you
this is too early for him to use Sanji. He's now trying to get rid of that cracker on field. He
has
does
to
have a
defend
Gum
that.
Gum Giant and multiple 2K counters now because of the
7K.
search.
He has to guard that, I think. He has to guard that.
He can block though. All
No,
right.
I think he can go for the push. If he managed to guard that without blocking Karasu, he can go for the push next turn because Karasu will be a 7K attacker should he decides to buff it as well. Although GP has a lot of hand cards and always has to respect Gum Gum Giant.
That's right. So Charles is actually doing a pretty good job here. He's not trying to aim for the leader for now because he really needs to control the board. All right, maybe he's trying to force JC to use that Karasu blocker to remove or to reduce the characters on the field. And JC only has 4 hand cards left. So it's actually a win-win situation here for Charles. You know, reducing the characters on the field or reducing the hand cards so he can actually deal a lot of damage at the later turn. So now he's prompting to do a 5K attack onto the leader. 4 active dons left. He can play another blocker here with 2 costs or 3 costs for the Robin with 1 active don, 1 to 2 active
no
dons.
triggers from JC.
All right, and a blocker, a Robin blocker, surprisingly.
Ooh, did he forgot that JC has Kuma?
Most probably, or he's trying to
bait
force
out?
him to
But
bait out
Kuma
that
is
2
just a 2 cost, so it's not like a game breaker for JC to use Kuma. Oh, he do have Karasu
That's right.
cost on his hand.
All right.
So 2, 4, 8 done. So possibly Kuma to Karasu, buff the 3, buff the 2.
This could be lethal here depending on the Charles Pitogo's hand cards
He do
right
have-
after the Gum Gum Giant.
Yeah, he do have a 0 cost. He do have a 2K counter, Sanji.
All right. JC's now on a tight spot because he wasn't able to get access from the Karasu really early onto the
Yeah.
match, right? Because if he was able to
Oh,
get that
going for
Karasu pretty
Betty.
early, all right, getting more hand cards here. This is actually the card that gave Bella Betty an edge onto the current meta.
And there you go. That Karasu is played. So Charles is now back to 5K. Well, JC has to be very careful here because although he managed to play Karasu, the problem is a Sec Luffy might be lethal here. Oh, he do have
But he doesn't. He only has 7 active dons. If JC will be able to force Charles here to push, on using 2 Gum Gum Giants, Charles won't be able to play that secret rare Luffy on
Yeah.
for the next turn.
So 5, Ivankov is a 9K right now.
That's right.
Karasu blocker is a 7K right now, and went for Kuma.
There you go. Now, I'm actually pretty sure that he will force Charles to use that Gum Gum Giant. 5K onto the leader, forces Charles to use up a 2K counter. There you go.
And that's a hint for JC that Charles doesn't have any more characters with 1K counter and went for a 9K. So that means that's going to be a Gum Gum Giant, 2 2K counters, or 3 2K counters because he just guarded a 5K attack with a 2K counter, or Gum Gum Giant plus 1K counter on his. And as you mentioned, he just wants Luffy to use his Gum Gum Giant.
That's right.
And that means Luffy will be back to 5 dons next turn. And
7-7. If he uses only 1 Gum Gum Giant, he's currently at 7.
He's currently at 7. So that means Sec Luffy might not be available because if he plays 6, he leave 1 don. Oh, he do.
He will be able to use that.
Yeah, he will.
But if checking on JC's hand cards, he has 3 2K counters and 1 1K counter.
Yeah.
So even though that Charles will be able to use that secret rare Luffy next turn, he will be able to guard at least 2 of those attacks because he only has a 7K, a 5K, a 6K, and also another 6K.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty good for JC because he does have 2 blockers available with 1 HP left.
Oh, he took the 9K attack.
He's trying to bait out. But JC is actually playing safe here. He needs 2 blockers for next turn for him to be able to survive.
Yes. And actually, that might be the last turn.
That's right.
He has to finish the game. Otherwise, well, he still have, if he managed to get Deadman's Game, this might be over if he do have Deadman's Game because that 2 attacker blockers will be rested by that event. And yeah, it depends whether he has it or not. He do have a chopper.
That's right.
He do have a chopper, but buff 9K, 9K, 7K with no dons use.
That's right. So he can still prompt for a safer play later.
But 7K will be definitely buffing Karasu just to activate the when attacking ability.
That's right.
So 5K to 9K, 9K, 5. This. Well, he do have a lot of zero cost.
But he has a lot of bricks as well.
Yeah.
Checking, there's a Sanji pudding. There's a
saw
secret
what
rare.
Gum Gum Giant can do earlier.
That's right.
In the BB versus Luffy matchup, those bricks became 2K counters.
That's right.
So Gum Gum Giant is really a wild card. It's really hard to say it's already math lethal, especially if there's Gum Gum Giant on his hand and now a 6K attack to that Ivankov. He went for a cleanup instead.
All right. Well, JC will either or.
Just
JC
1K.
still has the upper hand next turn.
Yeah.
If you're gonna ask me, he only has 1 chopper on hand, though he does have that Gum Gum Giant. But again, Bello Betty also has the access for a Dragon 8 cost, which is another body who can attack next turn because of the rush,
Yeah.
which also attaches to
Two dons.
2 dons, 2 rested dons. All right, so now he's checking out his possible options here for this turn.
Is that 5 dons? So he'll go for another Sanji. Oh, went for the blocker.
All right.
So that means he will be playing that chopper as well. He's preparing for JC's counter attack. JC is also low in life. Goes for that Ivankov.
All right, this is actually tough for JC now because Charles was able to cheat out playing that Sanji, right?
Yeah.
6 cost additional blocker for on his turn, and he was able to deal a lot of damage onto Ivankov by adding one additional Don. Now JC's thinking if he'll try to protect Ivankov this turn so he can go lethal for the next turn.
Actually, I think he has to let Ivankov go because if he guards Ivankov, that Charles can just go for the life, and he's forced to block with a bigger blocker like that Koala. Well, a 7K attack, easily guardable. He do have a 2K counter on his hand. Kuma and Koala.
All right, now plays the chopper. There you go, gains 1 rested Dawn. Most probably he'll pass, or will he attack? And added 2 cost onto Chopper. But again, let's not forget that Mellow Betty doesn't care about the cost of the characters.
Just goes for the power.
That's right. So we might be able to top deck a Kuma 2 cost, but he got a Kuma 2K instead.
A wrong Kuma.
All right, that's right. But again, let's not forget that there's 5 total attackers here for JC. I didn't see any dragon on hand.
Yeah.
And there's
you do
2.
have Koala, Kuma 2K. I think that's though he do have 3 hand cards.
That's right. And there's 2 blockers available for Charles.
1, 2, 3.
The question here is, what cards will he get from a Gum Gum Giant? Because I'm actually a huge victim of getting 2 no counter cards after Gum Gum Giant. So let's see what will happen here. But he does have a Jet Gatling here. He does have a Jet Gatling, you know, to at least get the value from those cards who doesn't have any counters. So he used, or JC used, that Bellow Betty ability by discarding 1 Rev Army, which is Koala. He did buff.
Now JC's going
Karasu.
for lethal here. He knows this is the last turn. There's
Yep,
already
that's right.
a full board for Charles. Goes for an 8K attack, minus 1K. So Luffy's just a 5K right now. 8K Gum Gum Giant immediately countered Karasu's attack. Still has. He doesn't have any more life, right? That's Zoro
Yep,
Juro.
0 life.
Yeah, it was
With 2 blockers. Oh, another Karasu.
4K.
That's painful, but he does have a Jet Gatling though,
Yes.
and 2 blockers left. But, you know, Kuma's attack will be pretty painful. I think the best attack here is he'll add 1 additional Dawn onto Kuma, or 2.
I think multiple 7K is
That's
the right
right.
play here.
All right, so he can force, and he does have the Deadman's Game.
Oh, okay. So Deadman's Game, that's the power of Deadman's Game. You can use it as an offensive card and a defensive card because it has counter ability.
But it wouldn't be enough because he's now at 4K leader, and the attack is 7K. That's a total of 4K counters.
But there's currently there's 2 blockers on the side of Charles. There's only 3 attackers left. He has to force Charles to block. Otherwise, Charles might be able to survive this round. And I think JC knows that this is his last turn. He has to go all in. Otherwise, this game will go to Charles Pitogo's side.
That's right.
How many dons remaining? 5 dons remaining.
4 total Dons for JC. He can prompt to a 7K and to an 8K, but again, I can see
7K.
there you go, a 7K from Koala.
Now, 0 cost might be the right play here.
That's right. So technically, that's 4, 5, 6, 7. So
7K and 2K.
he's forced to use a 3K counter, which is the Deadman's Game or a Jet Gatling.
I think JC has this. Another 7K requires 3 hand cards.
That's right.
And there's a 9K final attack.
Exactly.
So I think the 8K attack from Koala or from Bello Betty will be met with the blocker, and Charles has to rely. Oh, he already used his Gum Gum Giant.
Yep. The only event.
He has a lot of bricks on his hand.
That's right. The only event that he can use this turn after that, since he doesn't have any Gum Gum Giant,
It's the
is a Deadman's Game, which only adds 3K counter, and he needs more
he can
counters
replace
here.
his hand cards now. So yeah, so 7K. This is a 7K guard, but he still needs to give 1K.
That's right. So which is not possible this turn.
So now JC just have to compute.
Well, the best way
a Gum
here
Gum
is
Giant.
the best way here is to attack with Betty or the leader Betty for 8K, and then the finale will be a
Actually,
9K.
you need 7K because you have he's currently 4K. Oh no, yeah, you have to attack for 8K so that
Yep.
even if you think he has Gum Gum Giant, he has to fetch Gum Gum Giant plus 1K.
1K, yes. And then the last attack will be a 9K.
Yeah, I
So-
think this is math lethal for JC. Is there something that we're missing? He do have a 2K, a 0 cost, and a dead man's game.
All right, so I think what he
went
needs to do
4-0.
here, there you go,
Okay,
Jeff
so that's a
Gatling.
7K.
He needs
He
1K
needs
counter.
1K more, and that 2K will be trash
There
to
you
guard
go.
that one. And now he only has 2 hand cards. JC, if he goes for 8K,
There
this
you
is
go.
already over. Now he is forced to guard with a block, and that 9K will be the final nail in the coffin for this match. He's bluffing. Maybe he's thinking,
Well, he can't, right?
doesn't
He's
have
at
anything.
4K. He's at 4K, so he
there
won't
you
be
go,
able.
he's blocking.
And then a 9K.
attack.
And congratulations to JC for taking round number 3 using Bello Betty.